Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere. All right, there's the dollar again this morning. Let's see what it looks like, or today, I guess you could say. You see, it's been climbing up a little bit. There's talk of a double dip. In other words, we had the first half of the year in a minus, in a recession, and now it's coming out of the GDP is getting plus for the moment. And then what we'll see is there's talk of a second double dip coming around the corner, and that's why 10-year bonds slash notes are trading lower than the long-term 30-year or so forth and so on. And we're seeing, or is it the higher? One of these things. All I know is that they're the very short term, like 6 month and the 1 year and so forth, are trading much higher than the 10-year. That's what it really comes down to. And then when it comes to the 10 to 30, it's just kind of mixed as usual. You can see here, and that's what basically moves currency pairs is the interest rate and the inflation and the GDP of every country. That's their earnings in a sense. When you're looking at a stock, they say earnings is the mother's milk of stocks, and so in other words, it makes people buy or sell stocks. And same situation here with currency pairs. Currency pairs follow kind of the inflation slash the interest rate slash growth, that type of thing. So, and as you can see here, the dollar index trying to bounce up a little bit. Nothing major. I just think it's a dead cat bounce because I think in the trend overall, we are probably going to go sideways up a little bit, and then we're going to go sideways down. So there's no reason to rush towards the dollar at this point. Also, now we have, the House of Representatives is in control by the Republicans, so that's going to clean that mess up. In the sense that they can't just go out and spend $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there and another $1 trillion here and another $2 trillion there, and that's kind of done and over with. So the 2-year crazy is pretty much towards its end, and we'll know about the Senate going into December. And I understand now there's a recount going on in Arizona, all kinds of fishy stuff as usual. What else is new? And so that's where we stand. All right. From there, let's check out. Oh, let me go onto the chat line. I didn't even do that yet. Let's get onto the chat line. I was going to say, no one's asked me a question. Well, you got to put the chat line up to be able to see the question. Hello, Robin. Good morning, George. So, any particular interest in any particular thing? I'm ready to rock. I want to look and see what's going on. What is the magic for today? Here our title yesterday was the description of it's a short week. So I'm trying to think what else can I say about that. It's in other words, Wednesday the markets are normal here in the States, but people are going to start walking away. They're going to just kind of drift. We'll have some electronic markets on Thursday morning for a little while, and we'll do our webinar. And then Friday morning we have a normal start, and then it closes at lunchtime. We only do half a day. So, it's basically, I guess what we could say is it's a very short week in the sense of that the U.S. markets are basically stalled out almost 2.5 days or 2 days out of it, however you want to try to figure it. So it gets dead Wednesday afternoon. Basically, it is closed. You'll only have an electronic market that won't be participated on unless something's major going on. Silver, sure. Let's check it. Robin there says silver. Yeah. Let's go see what silver's doing. All right. I saw it firm this morning. That's a good thing. Let's see. Where do we go from there? There it is. And there is silver right there. Yeah. See, it's trying to climb again. Look at it. We're through. Robin, when we sent the charts out this morning, it was just underneath. It was like it was like minus 0.01 or something like that. It was really, and I thought, I bet by the time I go to save it for the next saving of it, it'll be plus. And there, it's already starting to do its plus. It's in that weekly buy now for 4 weeks. This is the fourth week. Let's see how she looks over on J4X. Yeah, let's see silver. There. Oh, look at that nice big punch up. Is that, and that's green even, so that's cool. I guess the little line over there tells you 21.16. You can see here the green line is turned up down at the bottom right there. You can see that right there. And so we got a little nibbling going on. I was impressed that they came down off the 22s down to 20 and a half, 20 and 3/4 area. That was kind of surprising in its own right. It just shows you how well the central banks can just push this stuff out the door with no problems. Wow, bang, gone. And so there's the weakness there. But now she is rising. So this is good. This is a good thing. Until this inflation stuff is over with, I keep on expecting to see higher silver. Maybe we'll get to 26. Maybe we'll get to 25 and 3/4, something like that. I still talk in fractions. It's just my nature. I can 25.75. There you go, instead of 3/4. So at this point, that's where we stand with the whole thing. What do you guys think? You have any particular opinion? I myself am holding to the same philosophy I've had for the last 6 months about it all. That it's going to be firmer this time of the year. That's how I see it. And I just keep on expecting it to be firmer. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And that means going up in value more than going down in value when I say firm. So now. What's that? Upski, yep, exactly. With inflation in the 8s, it's awful hard to believe that, there isn't firmness consistently. Like how it got down $1.50 from the 22 area. It's a real surprise to me in an inflationary period. But then again, central banks, when you can generate capital out of thin air, like, oh, okay, I need another, $20 billion. Okay, push the button, put it in the accounts, on the balance sheet as assets delivered, and there it is. Boom. Okay, now they got $20 billion. They go out and spend it. They just increase the balance sheet on the right side of liability. On the left side, they increase the sheet by equity, and then they go spend it. That's it. Done. So, looks like a up flag. Oh, I'm glad you're doing that. Let's take a look at that more closely. Let's do this. We'll make it the whole page there, and let's tighten that up a little like so. In many ways, it looks like we talked about this before back in September, like a reverse head and shoulders. So in other words, it was a reverse head and shoulders bottom. We thought they were trying to put that in, especially when it went down after what, 16? Did it go after 16? Went down to, what was that, 1740? So I mean that was very clear there that that you see the shoulder here, shoulder there. There's the head, and now I guess you can say, yeah, you're flagging. I guess what it's doing, it's flagging the rally. So in other words, I guess you draw the line from here. I guess we could go like, let's do this. Let's play with lines. So we go like that. Boy, that's thick enough, huh? And then I guess you got this going on, like so. So you got like, this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, this is the 4. They'll vacillate around the high 20s again, maybe, and then break out. Or is it this right there? Is that the flag that you're seeing? And that's the 1, that's the 2, and then there's your 3, There's your 4, and then the 5 will be like a high 21. I'm sorry, high 20, low 21. And then when it breaks out, it goes past it. When it breaks out of the 22, then maybe it finds a way to get to the 23 and a half, 24, or something like that. How's that look? Is that what you're thinking? So that is yeah, that makes some sense there. Somewhat, yeah. If you want to screen share in, you can um, draw on there if you want. But yeah, that's I just I go to the simplistic side of it. Looks like a reverse Head and Shoulders, and with 8% inflation, how does someone sell that stuff? Only oh, what didn't I post something last week about the metals complex? We did post something last week about the metals complex, talking about how paper money again and physical is so diverse now to a level of absurdity. Okay, that's no problem. No worries. All right, from there, what else we got going on? Let's go over let's take a look at the euro. But if anybody wants to see anything, shout it out. We'll go after it. I will do the little erase thing there because that might confuse people without hearing us. They'll be like, "What are those giant things? Are they donuts?" All right, let's tighten it up again. And it is trying to lift right there. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw a little green line right there. There's the green line because it's a red and a green right now. It's through the 0 line. So we're trying. Let me think now. Let's go to the euro. Where is it at? Right there. There's the euro. This is the euro is a third day in a sell. It's kind of firm, but not really doing much. It's off its highs of the day. We're still in that long, happy weekly now for a month. It's going on 5 weeks. That's pretty cool. Let's check out J4X and see what the euro looks like. There it is right there. And you can see the daily red for 3 days. That makes sense. You see a green line under the dash line. That makes sense. And then we go take a look at it on a weekly basis, like right there. Look at that. The weekly is acting the same way as our work is, with all the, the green there. And I got all the green there doing the same thing. So, and the green line is above the dashed line. Well, as a matter of fact, it's topping out a little bit in there because we're in the 80s, but we'll see. See what they do. All right, from there we can go over to the cable. Unless someone wants to see any particular product, just shout it out. We'll show it to you. We have no problem looking at something. So we'll go back to the old path. There's an old story. I'm going to make a joke. Can I make a joke? I'm going to make a joke. There's an old story about this old salesman back in the days when a horse and buggy was used. And the old salesman dies. So the wife, who wanted to know what the husband did, what his life was about, how he did his job and so forth. She gets on. I guess what it is, she jumps on one day. She wants to go to town. And the horse and the wagon start to go out of town. So she lets the horse lead her direction. Anyway, he stops at different places. She gets to learn the life of what her husband did, so forth and so on. People say, they recognize the horse and the wagon. They tell her stories, the whole bit. I wonder if my computers will do that one day when I'm gone. It'll start to just go through the euro, go to the British pound. From the British pound, it'll go to the Swiss. It'll go from the Swiss to the yen by itself. It's just automatically just someone will turn the computer on, and the computer will just go all back this particular computer I only use for the webinar. Maybe this computer, it'll turn it on, it'll pop up, J4X will pop up, Chicago Quant Technologies charts will pop up, and then they'll be like, oh, look at this. What's this all about? Never noticed this. And then, they'll see more and more. It'll go through a whole rhythm. I just feel like that's what it is. That's what life's all about. Just a simple rhythm. All right. From there, we go to the British pound. Let's see what the British pound's up to this morning. I think are they doing good in the World Cup? I think they are. I understand they started chanting. The British fans were chanting, "We want beer" yesterday at World Cup. We want beer. All right, yeah, it went into a sell there, so it's closed in a sell yesterday. Let's put that in right there, and it's the second day of the sell, but it's looking pretty runnerish. Look at that. Matter of fact, let's make the numbers look bigger too, so you can read them. We've been trying to clean that mess up too. Let's make it 17. There we are. And you can see there, we are just minus over here on the right. You can see that. It's showing you right here. Minus, it's just up on the edge. It's minus 0.00129er. So it's been 5 weeks in a buy right there. Check out. There it is on J4X. Same thing. You can see the weekly has been rocking and a rolling and a reeling. What do we got here? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're looking 6 weeks. It's been enjoying the, hey, look at me, I'm going up signal. And you can see it here. 6 weeks back, we were pushing. Then there's the first week, then the second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week. So it's happy moving north. And then on the daily, you can see we slipped into the sell here, and it's already trying to turn around. Let's see what it says over there on J4X. There we are. And it's still hanging in there just like ours with the red. And the green line is turning right there. You see that? The green line is turning like ours. All right. Oh, it says protect your... No, thanks. There we are. All right, there's the cable. Now from the cable, we go over to the Swiss. See what the Swiss is up to. And there's the Swiss. It's in a daily buy now for a fifth day. 5 days now. Gave us that volatility signal, too, at the beginning of this. The red and the green. They happen. It's always interesting. What else can we say? But the weekly, you see the weekly is still down below. So not a lot of love for the Swiss when it comes to a longer trend. But on the shorter trend, it's definitely saying, yes, I'm losing money against the dollar. The longer trend says, nah, don't trust that dollar's pair trade. That's what that's saying. Don't trust the dollar pair trade. Be long Swiss on a longer term basis. But on a short term, just keep your powder dry. That's what it says right there. All right, and there's the Swiss, and there is the daily, and you can see the same thing. We've got a 1, a 2, a 3. No, it's got to be 4, isn't it? What is that? I think that's a green 2, so that's a 4. 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, as they would say in the movies. And let's see what the weekly looks like on Mr. and Mrs. Swiss. Right there. Joining in with Chicago Quant. Showing all the weakness right there. Sliding away. That was very interesting. I guess, when they did those swaps, this Federal Reserve was doing swaps with the Swiss National Bank. They were propping up that bank, that commercial bank that has some type of margin call coming, slow and steadily. They made sure they put that to bed quick. All right, now they don't want no contagion. Definitely don't want a contagion going on the planet. They've had enough contagion for a while. Boo! I like that. If you have questions, just ask away. I like that. How many places can you go to get live, top-notch information? I agree. Dukascopy, you can come here and find it. We're here. All right. From there, we go over to the yen. And there it is right there. The yen, yep, been sliding since here. And it's, what, 4 weeks pushing down on the weekly. Let's throw it up over here. There it is right there. Same situation. Driving down in the middle of that week and this week. And at the end of this week it was. And then there, and there. This thing started off like literally on Monday. Just smashing down 4 weeks back. So, or if I guess it would be 3 full weeks. That's 1 full week. That's 2 full weeks. That's 3 full weeks. So that was an interesting push. I saw the green line breaking down. You know, it didn't pierce it. This scram did not pierce it. But in the end, it pushed down. And the daily went into a sell there too, which was really nice, and just kept on rocking and a rolling and a reeling. And then we've popped into here. Basically said, cover your, take this do-re-mi that you made right there and keep it in your pocket. All right. From there, remember, we're here to make money, not really worried about just going out and trading every instant. From there, where do we go from there? We go to, did we do the weekly over here? I think, yeah, I guess we did the weekly. And there is the daily. Let's do the daily. That's it. Put the daily up there. There we go. And you can see there, it's been happy marching along for the last 3 days. And the green line has been down there for even longer, above the dashed line. Now, from there, we run over to the classic. We open the laboratory door. We're going into the lab, and we're going to take a look at, obviously, we haven't had to look that hard, but we go into the lab, and we look at the patient on the table, and that is the dollar Turkish lira pairs trade. It's had, like, you know, enormous lives. It's like a cat. It dies and then dies again and then dies again because it comes back to life. It's got a great location. It's on the edge of Europe. There's a lot of things they can sell the Europeans. That's the way it's supposed to be. Free markets, free people. And there it is right there. There's the dollar Turkish lira. You see it's in a sell for 2 days. This is the second day. Not doing anything particular. Whoa, look at the weekly. The weekly is broken down after 42 weeks in a weekly buy. How about that? Good for them. Maybe they got a, I don't know, maybe somebody's going to settle up at the end of the year thing. I don't know. We'll see. But look at that. The 42 weeks is looking dangerously in trouble. Cool, huh? We'll watch and see. 42 weeks this thing has been in a weekly buy. Yowzer. And when we go over to Turkish lira here, or you know, you can see here it's been in a buy, and it's still in the buy, and it'll start. It lags. The J4X indicator is obviously it's an indicator combination I've put together. I call it the Manhattan combination. It's named after the engineers and scientists from the Manhattan Project because they're the ones that were playing with it. That's what they used to do before Oppenheimer could send them data to crunch in the mornings. They would run the main computer on the stock market for a few hours, since there was a 3-hour delay of, from Los Alamos all the way out to Stony Brook. All right, and then from there you can see on the weekly. Let's go to the weekly on J4X, and we're going to give you since it's we look at it more than we do look at it in a longer term view, of course. Here's the weekly, but check this out. Loading update. Whoa. Like I said, we've been in a weekly buy for 42 weeks in our math. 42 whole weeks. And you can see here J4X is confirming most of that. I mean, you had your dips here where it goes into that and it goes into a red and then it starts up again right back into a buy there, and so forth and so on. You see it here. I think that one was a red right there. Red wine. And so ever since we went into the weekly buy here in February of 2021? Or was it here? Okay, well, 42 weeks back. Yeah, so it was 2021. So we went into the weekly sell in February of 21. No, I'm sorry, weekly buy. We went into the weekly buy in 21, February of 21, like the second week of it. And that's why we are with a little symbol there. Where's that Mousy at? Come here, Mousy. Right there. You see it right there. We'll just make it big for a second, just for the fun of it. 42 weeks, but not this week. All of a sudden, yesterday it was, today it's not. So we'll watch and see what they do with that. That's interesting. That is interesting. Interesting. Then from there, we look at the location. We go to the Euro Turkish lira. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, they can drive stuff across a border. I guess we could show you a map. I'm not sure who else they border, but they're right. I guess what they're called, the classic Euro Asia. They're a combination of both. They're Europe and Asia, and so, or Middle Eastern Asia, whatever. Either way, they call them Euro Asia, and so they can drive their goods right across the border and sell them. That's pretty cool. And that's why you see it right there on the weekly like that. Now let's go to the daily. Right, so you can see it's trying to climb up, and you can see the same thing right there. And it's been in the daily sell now for 3 days on our work. Over here you can see it's getting there. It hasn't gotten there yet. It's not in the daily sell yet, but it will. Oh no, that's the euro. So that's dollar euro. Let's go. I'm sure it's red. I can't believe it wouldn't be red for at least 2 days, if not more, not less. Let's see. Where are you? Euro Turkish lira. Oh, it's up top. That's what it is right there. Yeah, 2 days. Cool. And that one, I don't think there's any color to it, is there? Widen that out a little bit. Yeah. So I mean, you can see that pressure that's on it on the daily. You can see that it's been screaming that we're reaching some type of top for almost like since what, the 13th. What's today? The 22nd. For 9 days overall, it's been telling us. There might be only 1, 2, 3. Is it right there? So is it that one? Or is it that one? That one is that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, it's business days, it's been telling you it's got a problem. It's got a problem. See, that's what's so good about the J4X, the Manhattan indicator. It gives you a good idea of the general trend. Now, if you just have to do it smart. You just can't just load up the boat, get enormously short, and then get stopped out, and then sit there choking 3 days later going, oh my God, I was so right. I just didn't have enough money. It's like, no, you probably have enough money. Don't exhaust. In other words, if X depends, just put 15% of your equity down, not 90% of it trying to buy the next Mercedes. Instead, you can pay the electric bills and the food bills and so forth, and the new shirt and clothes. Don't crush yourselves. Stay in the game. That's how we always look at it. Live the fight another day. All right, from there we drift over to. Oh, they're going to have the FTX bankruptcy hearing today. That should be entertaining. All my crypto friends are kind of quiet now. I used to get grief from crypto friends. They would give me grief. Oh, why don't you love it? I said, I do like cryptos. Yeah, but you just trade them. You got to buy them and hold them forever. It's like, well, I'm sure a nice little slice, but I'm not, oh, you got to put all your money in it. It's like, what? You're out of your mind. I'll put all my money in anything. Oh, my God. All right. From there, we drift over to the two pairs trades that we see correlated to the commodities. The first one is the Canadian. So it's the dollar Canadian pairs trade, U.S. dollar against the Canadian dollar pairs trade. And there it is right there. And you can see it's been firm for the last 4 days. Green line has been screaming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. 10 days back it started to scream like, oh, we're reaching a bottom. We're reaching a bottom. And then they pounded it a few more days. And then sure enough, it went into the zigzag sideways gig. Now over here, there is the CAD. And it's been in a buy there for the last 5 days. Its weekly is having its issues. The green line is cleanly through the bottom part of the manifold. There's no real... I mean, it is moving up to this week. You can see that. It's a histogram is trying to move off the negative manifold. That nonlinear manifold. Nonlinear time manifold, to be exact. That's what we call it. These two mirror images, they're a standard deviation combined with our formula. It's like Bollinger Bands on steroids of accuracy. They make Bollinger Bands look lagging indicators. And then from there, that's why at one time I think we used to have Bollinger Bands on the British pound so you could see the difference between the British pound and Bollinger Band versus Doc's math and his tool right there. And there is the Bollinger Band, the mirror images. I call them nonlinear time manifolds. It's my invention. I should do it in Wikipedia. When someone clicks on non-time linear manifolds, it'll come up. Doc's psychosis formula. There we go. And so from there, let's check out the weekly on CAD. And also, oh, you know what we do is we put up crude oil too. So since this has been drifting up, I would imagine, it's very easy to prove that crude oil has been drifting down. The West Texas Intermediate right there. It's been drifting down. And see today it's trying to turn up. Interesting is the green line has been telling you from almost the 90 area that it's a bottom. It's a bottom. But not yet. Notice how red it was all the way down, so you can't be long. You just know that the short is going to end. And so you got to be cautious. And unfortunately, this one really twists your tits a little bit there. But you can see it here on the Chicago Quant. You tune in and see both of them together. Or if you didn't have a chance to see Doc's work, at least you have a general idea like, oh, I trade to make money, so I don't need to have a position on at all. And then when this thing turns green and this line is moving up, then you can buy. So you don't have to be in long. Now, if you're a producer or something like that, it's a whole different strategy game that we can describe how to use the math for. Just talk to Robin. From there, or ask me here, live, with me giving a live example. Live. Is it Memorex or live? All right, and then from there, we go and we look at the weekly. Right there. And you can see crude oil is trying to roll over. See? 2 weeks of red. And it's been battling that for a while in this channel. This choked up area there. And so from there we jump over to CAD. Let's throw CAD up on there. And we'll do the reverse. Show it to you through Chicago Quant. See, let's make it a day. And then let's go make this CAD right there. Climbing up. And then over here we'll put in crude oil. Right there. There's the front month Jan crude contract. You can see it's been doing its job. It's going down as CAD goes up. See, that's how that works. So as crude loses money, so does the Canadian against the dollar. They march together a lot of times. Then from there, you can see today, on Chicago Quant there, it's got a red-green going on. So it's giving us a little warning that maybe some action's coming up. I did see something about a big cold spell coming through Europe all the way down to Spain. So maybe that'll instigate them to reach in and buy crude so they can make heating oil. It's a big thing here in the Northeast. They make heating oil. It's like diesel. You can burn it in your heater in the house and so forth. It's very clean, very well done, very safe, and very toasty. Then from there, matter of fact, I heard that Greens in Europe now call natural gas a clean energy. So they accept, over here in the States, our Greens don't like natural gas. But over in Europe now, I understand that the Greens have said, hey, guess what? That's a pretty good technology to keep our bodies warm in the wintertime. All right. From there, we dance our way over to gold. There's gold. It's been moving down. So obviously, the South African Rand, which we'll put up on J4X, has obviously been sideways to up somewhere along the line. That's the flip side of the metals contract right there. And look at that. That's, there was a green there, and then it goes red, red, red. It's going sideways. The green line was ripping on the upside, but it's holding. So I think that's a good sign. And let's do this. We're going to do this. We're going to put the South African Rand on here, on Chicago Quant right there. And you can see it's doing the same thing. It's in the buy right there. And it's stayed in the buy. It's given us a warning. Give a warning there. There's a green and a red. There's a green and a red. There's a green and a red. It's getting noisy. See, the last time green and red, we had a nice big move. The thing fell from, where did it fall from? The South African Rand fell from the, what is that? Looks like the 1775 area down to almost 17, down to 1710. So it's telling you that there is definitely something getting brewing there. There's a lot of green and red going on the same bar. And it's still in the buy. So that's, once that drops back into the sell, more than likely gold will go shooting back up again. Let's just show you Mr. and Mrs. Gold. It's trying today, like with Mr. and Mrs. Silver, trying to climb up a little bit. And it's been in a weekly buy for 5, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, if this is the 5th week, it's pushing along just like the way platinum is in a buy for the last 5 weeks. So, and I think copper's been in a buy and silver's been a buy like 4 weeks. So it's been very strong. They're not really letting go of this physical metals thing. They're into it. All right. From there, we drift over to, we do the last currency. Is that the last currency? Yeah, we do the last currency. We go do the Mexican peso right there. There it is right there. It's trying to climb up, get back inside its channel. I don't think it's going to succeed. I think it's going to do what it did here. I think it's going to bang on it, fall, bang on it, and it fell, bang on it. It's trying to fall. We'll see. And we're in that weekly sell from the 20 and change. We've traded as low as 1926 or 27, something like that. And you can see that this thing is trying to stay down, and the green line is far away from the negative time manifold there. So there's a lot of pressure on the downside there. Where's that? That's Mexican peso. So let's put that up on J4X right there. You can see that daily doing the same thing, banging, trying to bang the top of that range. And you can see the green line is marching along happily. And let's check it out on a weekly basis. There it is right there. And it's trying to lift, but it's been in red for 2, 4, 6, going on 8. You can see the green line turned beautifully there. And just like what's Chicago? Chicago is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full weeks in a sell from that same 20 area. And 3, 6, yep, 8, going on an 8th week, and we're going on, Chicago Quant is going on a 6th week. So they turned faster on that particular one on Mexican peso dollar on the J4X. I guess it's that orderly. It's truly that orderly. It is one of the more, we've talked about that here too, is that the Mexican peso is one of the more orderly currencies over the last couple of years. We're not sure if that's a location. In other words, they're on our south border. They're a neighbor. So all they got to do is deal with domestic crazy instead of international crazy. And I'm sure they're fighting to keep the domestic crazy under control. But right now, there's with Mr. Biden, Mr. Biden supports the domestic crazy. So that's why Mr. Biden and the president of Mexico are not getting along too well, and they're both leftists too. So that's the thing. Whereas up in Canada, the western part of Canada is fighting with the eastern part of Canada about the way they're doing things, and then Biden. I'm not sure. Biden, Trudeau. There's a big connection between the Trudeaus and I think Bill Clinton did something with Mr. and Mrs. with his parents or something like that. They were into something. I don't know. Some type of crazy stuff was going on up there at one time. But what's done in Canada stays in Canada. That's pretty much the way it goes. I think she was a Playboy bunny. I might be wrong, but I think she was something like that. His mother. Anyhow, that's where we're at. And that finishes us off of the North American currencies. Unless you would like to see something else. We will go get back on that cart and tell the horse and buggy to keep on moving. And so what we will do from there is we will drift over to, from gold, we'll take a look at silver again. There's silver. Silver's doing a fine job with the red and the green, and it's lifting and lifting, and you can see right there it's actually plus compared to, say, gold, who is just missing the bump by the hair of its chinny chin right there. It's trying. It's -7 right now, $7. So it's up for the day, but our math is still saying not yet. But it's still in the weekly buy, so it's not a short. It's just that it hasn't gotten that energy yet that we're looking for to be long. All right, and from there we go and look at copper. Oh, let's put silver up there again for you. Oh, there's gold. We've done the gold. So now let's take a look at, and that's the weekly. Let's get the daily in there, like so. There we are. And it's still, like I said, it's battling. Boy, that looks like a highway off-ramp. I'm not even sure what that line is. Why is that in there? Can I remove that? What is it? Edit indicator. Reset, cancel, okay. Restore default. How do I get rid of it? Or is that, what is that? That is, what is that? Is that price, earnings? What is that? Is that a existing indicator price? Cancel. We'll have to get rid of that over time. We'll figure a way. From there, we'll go over to the copper. Right there. And lots of red for on daily for 5 days now. And you can see the line's been underneath. And let's put her up over here. Right there. Same situation. You can see the weakness. It's been there, right there. It's been that weekly buy for 5 weeks. Check it out over here. Ooh, look at that. Putting a red in all of a sudden on the weekly. Interesting. Interesting, and it's starting to turn. Well, that's a China thing. We always say that, you want to understand China's, growth and so forth, just watch copper. Copper is their gold. And so it's swung back and forth. It's been over the $5 area because everybody was in love with China, and now people are having problems finding their money. It's kind of like FTX in many ways, like Evergrande and a few of the others have kind of disappeared with the equity somehow or another. It's all gone, and the government refuses to back it up and support it, and they bail out their domestic liabilities, people who are from China, but they don't bail out international, and the international corporations that are losing money from the Evergrande is, I guess, taking control of buildings in Hong Kong or something like that, because the things were signed over to them. All right, from there we will drift over to, where do we go from there? We'll go to the energies. Then we'll check out platinum tomorrow. That's the T's. So there is Brent. Brent's moving down the last couple weeks. Let's put it up over. Let's put Texas, West Texas Intermediate right there. See, both of them are moving in the down gig right there. And what else could we have to say about it all? You know, you can see it's trying to turn here. We got a red and green developing there, so there might be some action too. And let's see what the daily looks like here. It's trying to turn. You can see the green line has turned already. And once this gets through the zero line over here, well, actually, it's in a weekly sell. You can see the weekly sell is minus 24 for a second week. This is the third week over here. So what we really need to do is see this thing get into a weekly buy and obviously close there, or get through the time manifold. If it goes through the time manifold, we're just as comfortable with that. In other words, it has to go through the plus time manifold, show that much strength. So right at this point in time, the energy sector is trying to show us that it's trying to turn again. Yesterday, I'm not sure what drove it down to $75, but at least our math knew it was going there. That's a good thing. Our weekly for over 2 weeks, this is the third week, it's been telling us, watch out below. So it's been a good winner chicken dinner there. Oh, look at that. 10 years yielding 3.80. The 2 years yielding 4.5%, but the 10 years yielding 3.80. That's what we were talking about earlier this morning. How the short rates are really yielding way higher, 3/4 of a percentage point higher than the 10-year rate. So I just saw them post futures markets favoring 50 bips rate hike in December. That's what they're thinking. It's going to be a 50. It makes them all excited. Traders got to trade your money somehow. And let's see, from there we go over to Nat Gas. Let's see what Nat Gas looks like right there. And you can see it's lifting up, unfortunately. And we've seen that with that Spanish stock in Europe. Let's put it up over here. There's the Nat Gas. It's kind of quiet in the States in many ways, really. I mean, it's lower than yesterday, but still in a buy for, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth day, and it gave us the red and the red and the green there, telling us that there's some more action coming. And you can see it over here on the daily. That same gig is going on. And we got 4 days in a buy, and pressuring itself up, having a little problem right there. You can see that. And then what we do is we take a look at the Espanol market. Gas, is that it right there? Gas, natural gas, dollar. No, we already have that. We want to see natural gas company in Europe right there. Gas, Espanol Europe. 27 is going for, we were so happy when it was down in 22. It was making it cheaper. I mean, unfortunately, Europe is paying the price of thinking that what they've been thinking, and that's an expensive price to pay. Let's put it that way. So from there, that's the energy complex. Anybody care about anything particular in energy? We can take a look at the heating oil in the States. I'll show you what that looks like, because that kind of is analogous to this conversation. I think they have it. Do they have it on here? I think they have heating oil. No, that's not it. It's right here. Escape. There we go. HO. Maybe we should do it like this. Spell it. Heating. I spelled that so poorly. See, I got to look and see at the same time. Heating oil. E with an E. E. A. T. Heating oil. Nothing's popped up so far. How about if we do this? Gas, oil. Gas, oil. Nothing popped up there either. It just shows you gas, euro, the one we're in. Okay. All right. We can show it to you over here on Chicago Quant. There's the heating oil. That's what we were talking about earlier. It's basically like diesel. You can see it's been in a daily buy. Every time they try to sell it down, it doesn't seem to work and comes back up. And it's flirting very close. It's only under a cent now. Under a cent to going into the weekly buy there. And it's in the daily buy. You see we went into the daily sell there. Here she moved down. We went into the weekly sell that week. You see it was right around in here. It was not as fantastic, of course. And we'll see how they trade this thing. But with the cold weather kicking out, it should have some more positive effect there. And then this is the gasoline for the automobiles. Since we're in that neighborhood, let's look at it right there. That's been in a daily buy for 3 days here, and they're still taking it up, and it's in the weekly buy. So automobiles, it's basically $2.40 a gallon, $2.42 to be exact, I guess you could say. And then when you put on all the federal and state tax, it's mainly state taxes. Federal taxes are only like 13 cents, so that brings it to $2.45. And then you put another, like in our state, they charge another 60 some odd cents on top of that, so that brings it up to 3 and change. And so then you got to move it and put it in the gas stations and so forth and pay for it. So if by the time they get it all together, if they're lucky, if they make 3 or 4 cents on the whole shooting match of whatever they're paying for it. All right, let's go from there to the stock indices, and we'll look at crypto too at the same time. So let's put the S&P 500 right there on J4X. And you can see it's been kind of stalled out the last 4 days. Underneath the line, so this is the daily. Let's put it up over here. Yes to all, and to all, a yes. And then let's do this. I'll open it. Let's see, what do I want to put up there? Oh yeah, I want to just go right here. That's it, right there. And right there, and right there. There's the S&P 500. And you can see there it's trying to we're getting a red and a green, and we're trying to climb through the line. We are 10 points through it. We've been in the weekly buy for 5 weeks. So it's been okay. Nothing major. It has been warning us with lots of daily buys where the daily sells last just a few days, and then boom, they run right back up again, and it's been good. And then what you have is from there, you go to. I was just thinking of something. What was I thinking of? Oh, I know it is. Let's put the weekly up there first. But I was thinking of something. My mind was running in a different direction. Right there, there's the weekly. And so, the weekly's been doing the same thing over there on J4X. Matter of fact, there's some real wild action. What is that? What is that red thing there and that red thing there? That's interesting. I guess they're just telling you to buy or sell type of thing. So it's been 6 full weeks of pushing on the upside there. And that is the pressure, on the stock indices. You can see that the stocks are pressing up. Oh, and there's the intraday, right there. Let's see, which one should we do? Let's focus on the 2.62 Fibonacci of a Tesla. How do you like that? Is that a bunch of words or what? So in other words, it goes into the buy, you get a red and a green, and it goes up in value, histogram, the whole bit, plus. These are some of my other oscillators I like to watch. It's my gas line 12 and a gas line 9 I'm watching at the same time, and showing you the strength. And then you can see we get another red and green. It's still in a buy, goes back into but it's still in the buy, and it's not gone into a sell. So it's been in the buy since here, right there, and rides that puppy all the way up to there. So what is that? That's like 70. What's up with that? That's 70, I guess, right? Yeah, it's 70 because it's in 5 increments. So it ran from 60 or 50. What did it do? From 60 basically. It ran from 60 to 70 in a buy. 10 handles. Big game, huh? Then you got a red and green there, and we go into a sell. You can see we go minus for a little bit, and then it finds a way to get in a buy with red, green, green, red, green, red, green, and then zoom again. And now we're flirting and doing a little correcting again there. You can see it's breaking through here, so we know that there's definitely weakness and even an opportunity to be short. Because you can see it there, you can see it there, and you can see it definitely there. So that's the intraday. And it's always fun to show you the intraday. And then from there, this is even shorter. This is a 0.68. Is it 0.68? 0.62, I'm sorry. 0.62 Tesla. Not a 2.62 Tesla, but a 0.62 Tesla. Where it goes into the cell right there, and down she goes. Watch her break down, especially with this stuff right here. And she glides down really nicely there. There we go. And if you're wondering what this one is, this is something crazy. This is like a, what is this? This is a, I think it's the 9 times Tesla. That's what that is, a 9-time Tesla. And the Tesla is defined as a 396. So, all right. From there, we go over to, let's do the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. Whoa, let's see, where are you? Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there. We don't mark that up because no one seems to follow it. I only send it out. So what we'll do is we'll turn on one that everybody does see. I send out once a week. So there it is right there. Here she comes. There we go. You see she's been in a buy for 3 days. And you see the strength in there. We've been having some really, these boxes are showing you that we're having some incredible increased volatility that gives us warnings that some action like this is coming. And we're doing it again now as we speak. From last week, we've been in a weekly buy for 6 weeks? Yeah, 6 weeks. Let's see what it looks like over on J4X. Right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? Matching up. And then let's put the daily in there. And it's got 3 days in a buy also. And it's just breaking through. Look at that. It's just breaking through now with the green line. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. All right, traders, we're out of here. We've had enough fun for one day. This is Doc. We will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Just remember, U.S. markets are going to get slower by tomorrow afternoon. I will be warning you again tomorrow. Doc will do all his webinars because it's one of the only things I enjoy doing out loud and talking to people on this particular thing more than anything else. After that, I'm just being me, doing different projects. But I do love doing my webinar, and I can complain about the world and get that off my chest and the whole bit. So, from Southern New Jersey, this is Doc saying arrivederci. Happy trails to you from cattle country here. Until we meet again, which will be tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. And I will come up with a title. Ta-ta.